Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to GGRC's 1 hour of Spa special event. I'm your host, Arachon, and I'm joined by my co-host, Devil's Hound, and we are here at, you join us, obviously, at Spa for what promises to be a great race. What do you think of the grid today, Devil?
So, we've got Kepler, Pim, Cameron, Matwin, Zenau, Ritz, Enderwolf, MLS. The rest you don't care about because I can't see them with my broken controller.
That is okay, but I can tell you now that 9th is Patrick, 10th is Leo K, 11th is one of our new newcomers, Lilium55, 2nd is Willie, 12th is Willie, 13th is Blue Phoenix. No wait, they're safety cars. I should probably inform you guys, we have safety cars coming up in this event, so in the event that in the race we will have a crash, a safety car will be deployed, and we'll slow down the race for the case of any drivers that are involved in any incidents can go and repair their cars. It's basically a bit like F1 in that aspect. So Blue Phoenix and Devil's Hound are our two safety cars for this event. So Blue Phoenix is our primary safety car, and in the event that Blue Phoenix decides he wants to spin out, Devil's Hound will be as a reserve, so he can just go out and see what the track is like when things go pretty hasty. So at the moment we're in qualifying. Kepler has set the fastest time of the event so far with a 1 minute 58.696. Pim is currently holding off nicely in second. He's only 0.2 seconds behind. Lilium in third, even less than that, 0.019 seconds behind Pim in third place. MLS in fourth place is 2 seconds behind Lilium, so assumedly he's going to set a flying lap a bit later. Enderwolf, Zenau, Cameron and Leo also behind MLS, so assumedly they're going to start saving their tyres for a good lap. There are actually no restrictions in qualification, unlike previous GGRC events, so any driver can pop into the pits like Kepler was doing right now, coming in on a set of softs. We'll see what he'll do a bit later on in quali. As you can see there, we've created specific liveries for these safety cars. So here's Devil's Hounds. He's got a nice white-backed livery. He's got a nice white-back livery, and Blue Phoenix as well, just ahead of him. Let's just go back to him. They've both got exactly the same livery. So, unfortunately, since they're in, I believe you do.
I believe we've got slightly different liveries.
I think you might have. Oh, Blue Phoenix just tried to exit the pits, but unfortunately has not. So, let's have a look at Kepler GT's flying lap here. He's doing rather well at the moment, going around the chicane after the Camel Straight, keeping the car planted, coming into this next right-hander. Down the back straight into the tight hairpin now, trying to keep himself very narrow going around this side, exiting wide. Ooh. And then moving to a far left. As
Leo K had a big spin in front of him.
Oh, have a look at that in just a minute. He's just gone back to the pits. As for Cap, he's just gone into ghost mode, so I'm a little bit confused at the moment. I'm just going to go back and double check to see if everyone knows that I am live. So let's just quickly share that over.
Can you double check quali is 10 minutes or 15 minutes?
I will be with you with that in just a minute. Ender says it is... I actually do not know. It's not saying anything. Ender does not say much about it. So, judging from that, we will say that qualification is... Well, how long have the drivers been out there?
8 minutes, 40 seconds.
Okay, so we'll say qualification is 15 minutes.
Yeah. Have we got confirmation on that?
I will just need to get some I will need to get some. So you just type in with Ender saying it's 10 or 15 minutes, because I don't exactly want to go into the menu. It's going to be a bit awkward. Aside from the fact I've got a cursor on this bottom of my screen. In fact, you know what? Let's go and quickly inform. Just messaging them saying that qualification is 15 minutes long. So how long left?
5 minutes 30 seconds.
We're not going to be pedantic today, we'll just say 5 minutes. So let's have a look at Kep's time coming around here. As he comes around Puhon, trying to balance the throttle as he comes around, going wide in the middle of the corner and then trying to get narrow for a wide exit. As he comes now into the next hairpin. It's not even a hairpin, that's a chicane. No, it's 10, you beginner. You
15
bastard.
now.
It's 15 now.
Look at me, I'm the captain now.
Anyway. What am I looking for? There we go. So let's move back down the grid. Let's have a look at Lilium now in second place. Let's just... There we go. That looks a bit more like it. So Lilium, currently doing a relatively decent lap as well in second place, but he's 0.8 seconds behind Kep. But he's also he's only 0.1 seconds in front of Pim in third place. Pat in fourth place has made a pretty good lap, and he's only beaten Ender by 0.02 of a second in qualification in the R18 that he's driving right now. So Ender in fifth place, probably quite miffed, A, from the qualification standings and the fact that he is 0.2 thousandths of a second behind Pat. Behind him in sixth place is Ritz Gaming, who is putting on a fresh set of softs, as we can see here, on lower fuel, as he comes out in his TSO 30. I believe that's a TSO 30. No, it's not, it's a 919. I cannot read. In seventh place,
I'm currently on board for a 158.2. Just what I'd say.
You reckon? Let's have a look at his. Let's have a look at his speed now. I'm gonna figure out which one's actually his speed. There we go. You can see 182 miles an hour coming down into the final bus stop chicane.
On the brakes too early. Ah.
You reckon it might be?
That blew it.
You reckon?
Boys.
Coming across.
Willie with a 157.425. Wow.
That's the quickest time of the day so far.
I think that's the quickest time ever.
That's even beyond practice, as far as we're concerned. So very, very good lap time from him. We'll see. We'll double check his fuel in just a moment. I need to just check what the thing is to throw it.
Cast this into the fire. Destroy it.
Indeed. So Willie has actually set that time on just over half fuel. So fuel burning is still a relatively decent option coming around this entire thing, but it seems to work okay. So I'm trying to figure out what the hell's going on here. There we go. So you can see all the time. So Willie's best time was a 1 minute 57.425. In second, Kepler with a 158.086. In third place, Pim with he's just spending his last penalty, but his best lap time currently is a 1 minute 58.610. And he's binned it down after the chicane. That's not going to be good news for him, especially since he's only got one more lap to do. After he can only put in one more lap as soon as this
means he can't pit or change his tyres. Shocking.
It's going to be a bit of a pain for him, but however, he does have a battery which he can replenish coming up to the final
wow.
bus stop chicane.
Penalty.
Penalty? What penalty?
Penalty. Penalty. Wow.
This is a serious commentary. We do not tolerate jokes in this commentary, except for when I do them.
Time in.
Okay, so we're going to watch Pim for his final attempt at cracking on Willie's time, coming around the first hairpin. Really tight entry and a really wide exit, which is very good from him as he pummels down towards Eau Rouge or Radion, depending on which way you want to look at it, because people get them wrong either way. Coming flat through there. A little bit of a squiggle coming up on the top. Can you not? He comes out. So qualification is ending now. So this is the final lap for people to try and take on their times. So if the safety car would like to announce that qualification is now over, that would be great. And we can see the final attempts of people heading into the pits and coming out for their final attempt. So we're just going to watch Pim now for his final attempt. Coming down the back straight, coming down towards Puhon. Starting wide, trying to stay flat, but he's eased off, moving down to third, and then slowly accelerating out. That's a very good line coming out from him now as he comes down towards the chicane, braking rather hard. A good entry and hitting the curb on the exit. A second part of the chicane, absolutely pinpoint perfect from Pim right now.
Pinpoint perfect.
Exactly the case. So now he can really open up.
Oh,
he can
point
really
two
open
behind.
Up. He's
wow.
he's 0.2 behind the leader, but that still puts him in front of Cap if he holds on to this pace. He's also got a battery which he can really start to push down now. However, the battery is only usable below 150 miles an hour, so he can't actually utilise it as he's pummeling down towards the final bus stop chicane now, braking quite early, but he's doing rather well. So here comes Pim now. Coming down to the final straight, we'll see his time. It is a 1 minute 58.6.
You know what
puts
cost
him in
that?
fourth place. What do you think?
What I think cost him that time right there was the previous lap of spinning out. It really beat his tyres down.
That's gotta suck for him.
Oh mate, this is bad. I got my mic cable wrapped around my steering boss.
That's gotta suck. So as we can see, Pim moving very wide here. We will be right back with you as we switch up the settings. Is everyone finished with their quali yet?
Cameron is still running. Nope.
Okay.
I think everybody's done.
Okay. Just before we do that, I need to quickly...
Lilium.
Lilium's...
Nah, he's already typed. He's typed. Never mind.
That's fine. Okay, so... let's just quickly go into the member list. So... I just quickly take a screenshot of that. Okay. Now we just need to give me just a... Okay, so from there on out we can then change the visible damage to on. Just checking the 60 minutes time limit is correct. Right, let's just quickly, everyone on track. Oh, flag rules and penalties need to be off as well, correct. Grid order needs to be set by host. Flag.
What did Pat do?
Flag order and penalties off. Change event settings. I'm doing that. Okay, so let's just set that up. It's fine. I've got it set. The fastest first shouldn't be working anyway. So, Pim on pole, correct? No, Pim is not on pole. That's not right.
Oh no.
Oh, for fuck's... have to tell me your P's. Yeah, I can see there we have some problems. Okay, so who was on? So Pat was P2. I can set that up. Wait a minute. Why can't I change the grid positions? Oh, change grid order. Right, so Pat was P2. Who was P1? Willie. Who was third? Lilium, correct? MLS was 6th, we believe. I hate this shit. Set you guys at the back. Sorry guys, we have some very annoying technical difficulties. Lillian was not 8th. Vev, can you provide assistance? Vev!
What assistance will I have that you don't?
Telling me where they are while I look in the settings, because everyone's just going to be all over them. Because I can't look at two things at once. I know Willie was first, Pat was second, Lillian was third. Pim was 5th, wasn't he? Actually, Lillian might have been 4th and Ender was 3rd, was it?
Apparently MLS is 5th. Okay, Pat said Willie, Pat, Kep, Lilium, Pim,
Willie, Pat,
MLS,
Kep, Lilium,
Pim,
MLS,
yeah. Ender, Ritz.
Ender, Ritz, yeah. Then I know Zombie said 10th. I think it was Matty.
Then Matwing after Ritz, then Zombie.
Zombie. Then it was Leo, Z, and Kaz. Leo was 12th. I think it was Z, Leo, Kaz. Okay. Okay. Ready. Ready up.
Ritz, Matt, Zombie, Kaz, Z, Leo, K.
Oh, Z, then... Oh, Kaz, Z, Leo, K. Kaz, Z, Leo. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Matty's fine.
Matwing is missing.
Matty was probably 9th. That's fine. Okay. Good luck to all drivers.
Did you put him at 9th before he says he's in 2nd?
He's in 9th. Matty's just behind Ritz.
Okay.
That's fine. So, let's begin. The 1 hour at Spa.
Me and Blue, 15th and 16th.
You are, indeed.
Good. Before I start on pole, if I do, I'm going to have to slap you.
There you go, you can see our two
I
safety
got an
cars
orange
at
car.
the back.
He's got a silver car.
So, here's our grid layout. Willie is on pole, Pat in 2nd, Kepro 3rd, Lillian 4th, Pim 5th, MLS 6th, Ender 7th. Aritz Gaming is in 8th, Matt Wing is in 9th, and Zombie Boy rounds out the top 10. The driver's on the grid, and let's get ready to race for this hour-long special at Spa. And it's lights out, and away we go! Willie getting a slightly bad start. Kepler's going, someone's on the grass on the left already. I don't know who on earth that is. That looks like Leo, who got a really awkward start as they come around turn 1. Willie getting a clean start. Lilium getting a very bad start. He looks like he tapped one of the other drivers as he exited turn 1, but I don't think it's going to cause any damage as they head down now, up over Puhon. Willie leads Pat and Kep in hot pursuit in 2nd and 3rd. Pim backwards in 4th place. Ender battling with Ender, who's actually just overtaken him. So Pim's actually, I'm not sure quite what he's done, but it looks like he's got a problem. Pim has an engine problem. There's a very bad start from him. However, it's only lap 1, so we're probably going to halt the safety car before it actually comes out. So, let's have a look at the rest of the grid. So, Willie having a good start. No, Patrick's leading the race currently, so he's doing especially well at the moment, but no damage at all. Willie in 2nd, still no damage. Keplero in 3rd place with no damage. Enderwolf in 4th, but he has rear wing damage. GSRT Zombie Boy had an excellent start and is currently up into 5th place. No damage from him. Ritz is in 6th place, but he has rear aero damage and a rear right wheel damage. However, he is also doing very well on his batteries and is also running 0 ABS, so we'll see how well he's going to cope later on with these races and these extremely high-powered cars. I can hear you giggling in the background, you nonce.
We're going to see how he's going to cope. Anyway, go on.
ARC Matty in 7th, coming up 2 positions from his starting point, but has front aero damage on the hard tyre. In 8th place, I believe that's Zenow. He had a great start coming up from what might have been last place, and he's now up into 8th place with 0 damage. In 9th place, we have MLS, who had a not very good start, but considering his front aero damage, and he's going to hit the pits immediately. We'll see what he's going to do. I think he's just trying to damage limitation will be his problem to deal with in the long run. So in 10th place as well, Matty actually also going into the pits. We'll just see what's going on with the rest of them. So we'll see how many of them are in the pits at the moment.
Let me know when we're going for a safety car.
Will do. So Pim, MLS, Matty and Lilium all going in for the pit stop. You see Matty here. So his last lap time was a 2:33.3. He's 3 seconds behind Ritz and 27 seconds off the leader of Pat. So after him coming out of the pits, I assume he's still on the hard compound. Let's just double check that. As you can see, yes, he's come out on a fresh set of hards. Kaz actually not doing what he was looking for, so you can see.
I think Kaz caused the damage at the start.
Oh, it seems so. Yes, you can see here he's got. You can see the front of his car is quite torn up already, and he's back down in 13th. So, assumedly,
he punted someone.
Indeed, he's out. He's
the
out on a
thing
pair
is,
of
the
softs.
race is over an hour. These guys are prepared. We don't need to send the safety car out immediately. Where it's an hour, you know, we'll do it when there's a big crash again.
Of course.
For now, we'll leave the gaps as are.
Of course. Of course. I mean, it's early days, and anything can happen, basically, at this sort of race. So, let's catch back up on the leaders. So, we have Pat currently leading this race with a 2:01.9 on his last lap, so a very quick lap time from him. He's followed by Willie in 2nd place, staying in his slipstream, and you've got Keplero in 3rd place. So they're travelling as a big group at the start. You can see the safety cars in the background, just at turn 1. Great looking liveries on there. You got GSRT Zombie Boy, who's actually pulled away from Enderwolf in 5th place. So he's doing rather well, considering. He's doing very well, actually. Considering his start position, he's moved up. He started in 10th,
especially
didn't he?
Considering it is Zombob. Zombob isn't usually particularly fast.
He's doing rather well. I wonder if it's the Weeb livery on the side. It is giving him power. It's not exactly...
Plus 100 horsepower.
See,
always
this is,
away.
I suppose so. I mean, tuning was disabled for this, but the powering...
Yeah, it doesn't mean the drivers should be.
I mean...
But here we are. We've had many crashes.
Well, what can we say? Oh dear. So his tyre, he started the race out on the soft tyre, and you can see the wear on his front tyres is quite substantial considering it's only lap 3. He's probably got about 85% of his fronts remaining. So I expect Zombie Boy is just going to continue moving out on the softs, and I wonder if he's just going to go max attack for this race. What do you think of the strategies, Devil?
I think they're interesting. I think a smart person would, if they've had a crash such as Pim, they'd come out, get all the positions they can feasibly get, and start fuel saving until the safety car comes out. Because it's bound to happen.
I mean,
I'm also currently considering having a 2 safety car formation there. You know.
well, it's a bit late to be doing that now, to be fair. Do we think?
Not particularly.
Anyway. Let's have a look.
Carry on.
I will, indeed. So let's have a look further down the grid. So let's have a look at Enderwolf in 5th place. So let's just see the end of his lap, but he's currently 2.9 seconds behind Zombie Boy in 4th place and 13 seconds off the leaderboard. So let's see what lap he's just pulled. A 2 minutes 3.5, which currently on his medium tyre and rear aero damage is a pretty respectable time, it must be said. Especially since his tyre wear isn't actually that bad. Considering what Zombie Boy's was on the soft tyre, Enderwolf's tyre wear is actually relatively good in comparison. Especially since he's on the medium tyre, so he'll be out for longer, but we don't quite know how it's going to work. So, there we go. It looks like Zombie Boy is catching up with the leaders. Actually, no, it's not him. That's not Zombie Boy. It's just the top 3 is still having a very close race. Pat is now currently leading this group of 3, with Kepler in 2nd and Zombie Boy in 3rd. As they head out.
New cool effects.
I have been using the new cool effects. They've been really handy. You can see here.
Okay.
I mean, if you
I'd watch the live stream, but then no doubt I'd break the lobby.
Potentially, but it's not necessary because we've got 2 safety cars. If one goes, we've got a second one. It's not a bad option. It looks like Enderwolf might slowly be gaining. No, he's actually losing. He's actually losing time on Zombie Boy. Last time we looked at him, he was 1.6 seconds behind. He's now 3 seconds behind. So you can see. Z now actually is up in 6th. He's pulled a little bit of a gap on Ritz in 7th, and Leo K actually probably the most surprising position I've seen so far in 8th. However, he hasn't pitted, unlike the drivers behind him. So you can see MLS now is really hot on the tail of him. As you see MLS is really going to start opening up the taps now. Coming up the inside, looks like Leo's gone a little bit wide, but MLS is going to come up on the outside, but he's got the move done before he's even got to the hairpin. So really good strategy movement from him, especially considering I expect he used the battery just to get ahead of him that quickly. You can see the hybrid system's really working their magic here at Spa.
It's important to note the difference in the vehicles as well. For example, the Audi R18 has the weakest battery system, but it does have the highest top speed, the highest mechanical horsepower.
Oh, hang on a second. There might be an incident. Kepler looks like Kepler has got some rear damage, it seems. I'm not sure quite what happened there. I'll have a look at it. We'll have a look at what happened a bit later on, but the repercussions from this so far, it looks like Willie's got front end damage and Kepler has rear end damage, which means Patrick, with none of his damage, can really start to put the taps down and power on ahead. All 3 drivers are on pretty much the same amount, on the same tyres, and all of them have got pretty much exactly the same wear. So it's a very, very close race. However, as you said earlier, the R18 with the least amount of battery power is really starting to show its toll, as Willie's battery power is very, very low. In fact, it's empty.
So what you'll notice is his acceleration out of slow speed corners will lack because of the battery being flat. However, his top end acceleration is still incredible.
Indeed, yeah, you can see Kepler is not quite catching up to Willie despite his battery power. And as for Pat, well, I think, yeah, that's
Remember,
Pat.
it's speed dependent.
Exactly. They're only active below 150 miles an hour. And Pat also in the R18, doing rather well from it. Let's have a look further back down the grid. Enderwolf and Zombie Boy. The gaps remained pretty stable so far. Having a look at Ender. So he's just pulled a 2 minutes 3.1. He's actually made just a little bit of time. He's made 0.4 seconds over the last time we looked at him on Zombie. It might also be due to the tyres that Zombie's been using. So having a look at their tyres, let's just have a look at there. So Enderwolf on the medium tyre has got pretty much the same as Zombie Boy's on lap 3, and he's don't forget we're on lap 6 at the moment, which means that looking at Zombie Boy in 4th place, well, his tyres look absolutely shot at the moment. However, his fuel is slightly better than Ender's, so Ender's really having to put the power down in order to keep up with him, especially considering his tyres being a slightly harder compound than him. So we've got 48 minutes of this race to go. The grid seems pretty widened out. So you've got the top 3 in their own little group. Zombie Boy's just driving out on his own. You've got Enderwolf just a little bit behind. Again, completely isolated down there in 5th. Ritz also potentially even more isolated. He's about 4.5 seconds off of Enderwolf and 3.2 seconds off of MLS, and to be honest, that's only increasing. It's just got up to 3.5 after that chicane. Having a look at MLS though, he actually started on the medium tyre as well in his I believe that's a R18. Yes, it is the R18. His last lap was a 2 minutes 0.6, which is actually potentially one of the best times we've seen today. But currently, the best time so far is Keplero's 1 minute 58.9, which is by far the best lap that we've come across so far. So let's have a look at the consistency of the top 3. So they have been gradually getting slower, it seems. So Willie started with a 2:02, which is normal considering it's the first lap. Dropped to a 1 minute 59.2, and then 2 2-minute laps, and then 2 minute and 2 second laps. Looks like Pat was looking at a move at Keplero, but backed out at the last minute, it seems. Patrick actually was pulling slightly quicker times, but he was leading the pack for quite some time considering that he had no damage. So he was pulling 2 minute laps for quite a long time, but in lap 6 he pulled a 2 minute 4, so I assume he made some sort of mistake. Kepler there, just coming out of that hairpin with a little bit of a slide. So he's going to fall slightly further behind. As for tyre wear though, Willie's rear tyres currently look so much better, well, say so much better than Pat's. He's currently got the best tyre wear out of the 3 so far. His fronts and rears just seem slightly better than both Pat's and Kep's. So Kepler is really going to have to work the engine out and those tyres if he wants to keep up in this race. Oh, it looks like there's been an accident. It looks like Leo K. He's got severe engine damage. I think we might have to deploy the safety car for that, unfortunately.
How many laps?
We'll run the safety car out for 1 lap as soon as your guys...
Should I send it now?
Send it now. So Blue, you can see here the safety car will be deployed. As we can see here, the first safety car has been launched. That's Blue Phoenix coming in that time. So you can see, so hopefully we can see the safety car in action. So the car's behind, so you can see Willie, Kep and Pat all slowing down for this one here. Zombie Boy will be able to catch up very, very soon. I wonder if these guys are going to pit. Ritz and Ender. Ritz, Ender and Zenow all pitting. Zenow actually came in on the hard tyre. I'm a bit surprised actually, considering he's got no damage and about half fuel, and his tyre wear has actually been very, very good so far. So I'm kind of wondering why Zenow came in during the safety car. I wonder if I'd have thought track position would have been more important to him. What do you think, Devil?
I can't say right now, actually. Just trying to work something out.
Alright, Zenow's just come out on the medium tyre. Matty, just looking a little bit behind, he's in on the hard tyre. Kaz came in on the soft tyre from pretty much half fuel. Well, half fuel, but half and everything. Right, we can see Leo now changing his tyres off with the mediums and on with the fuel, and also on with the repairs, because that engine is not going to be sufficient to keep up with these guys in this race. And I'm not even sure if Leo's going to catch back up with the safety car, considering the safety car is currently back out at Puon. But let's have a look at the front there. So you've got Blue Phoenix leading the pack. The safety car's actually come back up to 5th at the moment, so MLS has finally joined the fray. Lilium not too far behind as well, so you can just see him in the background shot there, starting to come into view. The gaps between the drivers are actually doing rather nicely, so about 0.4 seconds the gaps. 0.4, Keplero's a little bit close with 0.3, but it seems pretty okay so far. But safety car is coming in this lap, so the safety car will be coming in. The safety car obviously will be coming in, and it'll be up to Willie to put the hammer down to restart this race. Keplero didn't. The top 3 didn't actually pit this lap, so the GGRC, so Zombie Boy and MLS are really going to be in for it. So the next time the safety car comes out, Willie, Pat, and Kep are actually going to be at a really big disadvantage. So here we go now. As they come out, Willie, Pat and Kep actually all went into the pits. Oh my god, that's a bit of a surprise. So Lilium and Enderwolf now lead this race as they enter lap 9, coming into the first corner. Lilium up the inside of Ender is a pretty good move, but Lilium spun at turn 1. A very, very crucial loss of traction has put him down to 3rd, and Pim up into 2nd. So very, very surprising moves here. So as we look back, so Willie's just come out on some fresh mediums. Keplero just behind him, also out on some fresh mediums. I'm not sure quite what happened to Patrick. Oh no, he's come out in 8th. All 3 drivers that came out from the lead are now out on the medium tyre. So it's a pretty level playing field between those 3. But as we look up to the front of the grid, Enderwolf only just a second in front of Pim in 2nd place, and Lilium really looking to try and make a move on Pim as they come up towards, as they come through this hairpin, sorry. Well, let's see how well Matwing actually has coped. I'm sorry to move away from the action, but it looks like there's not going to be any. Looks like there's not going to be any. But let's have a look at Matwing down in 11th place and see how well he has coped, and coped rather well, I would say he has. I mean, he's on half fuel. He's kept up relatively well with the rest of the pack, but he is 4.5 seconds behind MLS, unfortunately, in the 9:19. His last lap time actually was the 1:57, but that's obviously because he'd just come out of the pits, and he's a full half a minute behind Ender, who's actually pulled quite a bit of a gap on Pim. 2.6 seconds the gap now. Which means Lilium is still right on his tail as they head up towards the bus stop chicane. So right guys, we can head back to the action. Here comes Lilium right up the inside as he gets to the bus stop chicane. It looks like Lilium's going to have the outside, but Pim's going to have the inside for coming up towards the main straight. So they're side by side heading down the front straight, but Lilium looks like he's made the move and he's made a 0.4 second gap on Pim as they come up towards turn 1. Pim is not going to be happy about that. Oh, it looks like even further behind. Z is actually looking at making a move on Ritz, even though, let's have a look, Ritz actually has the battery, but he does not have the frontal aero, nor the tyres. So Z taking a very, very easy overtake coming through Eau Rouge and down the Kemmel Straight, up into 4th place. I'm going to look further forward, so between the battle between Lilium and Pim. So Lilium half a second in front of Pim, but Pim not backing down at the moment. Pim in the R18 is actually managing to pull up quite a bit of battery life going through these corners. So he'll definitely have the acceleration, especially in the slipstream behind Lilium. So he's probably going to pull some good sectors coming up through here. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at Pim's run through here. I don't want back view. That's not what I was looking for. Anyway, let's just go back to standard. Let's just go back to standard settings. So it's GGRC Zombie Boy currently in 8th place. I didn't catch that. So he's currently 7 seconds behind the 7th place Willie, and a full half a minute off the lead. It seems to be. So he's pulled some relatively decent times actually. 2:04, 2:03, 2:02. So pretty steady from Zombie Boy at the moment. But he's probably been one of the more surprising drivers this race. He's been up from 2 positions since his quali, so not too bad from him at all. Looking up at the lead now, Enderwolf has made a very commanding gap on Lilium. 7 seconds is the gap as he comes back down the Camel Straight. So a very good run from him, and he's also just taken the fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 58.421 out on the soft tyre. So very, very good from him in the, I believe that's the TSO 30. No, it's a 919. I can't tell the difference. They all look the same, except the R18. I can see the R18. Let's have a look further behind. So Liam actually seems to have won that battle between Pim. However, his tyre wear is far worse. So he's won the battle, but at what cost? We'll see how well he's going to cope with the battle between Pim later on in the race. I don't know. I still haven't thought about an argument with... Hang on, let's have a little bit further behind. Looks like Willie and Kep might be in a bit of a battle here. So Willie up the inside of Kep, coming around the outside of Willie as they come around into the first half of the hairpin. So Kep's going to have the inside for the second half, but Willie holds it around the outside. So good defensive driving from him. Hello, 4th Stream Watcher. So Willie's going to hold just ahead as they head up down the back straight and up towards the bus stop chicane. So Kep on the inside with a bit of battery power, but since we're past 150 miles an hour, it's not going to be good enough for him. So Willie currently just ahead. I wonder if Kep's going to make a move down here. So we're just going to wait. Kep not looking back. Here he comes up the inside of Willie, coming up into the first half of the bus stop of chicane. Pim actually just coming to the pits. We're not going to worry about that right now, but he's actually looking like he's actually made the move on Willie. So very good driving from him. So Kep's now up into 5th place from the 3 horsemen of the... We're going to refer to Kep, Pim... No, not Kep, Pim. Kep, Pat and Willie as the 3 horsemen of the apocalypse, simply because of their early established dominance in this race. Let's have a little bit further back into about 10th place. MLS and Matty having a battle coming out of turn 1. You can see Matty just had the better acceleration in his... I don't know what he's got. I don't know what Matt's got. I need to be a bit safe here. Oh, there's a little bit of an incident. Pat's got rear right wheel damage after that. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but it does not seem to be good. Let's have a look at that in just a moment. I actually don't know how the replays are going to work. I'm sorry, is that a wild Vev returning to his mic?
Yes.
Indeed, you've joined us at a relatively...
Oh, I've been at my mic for ages. I took it off for about 15 seconds.
Oh, I understand. That makes more sense to me.
I was just considering making a change, perhaps. Obviously, it's late, but Blue Phoenix is in the pits. I'm outside of the pits. We could have it so that next time safety car is needed, I go around, I go into the pits, he comes out of the pits when it's clear.
That's...
That way, there's always a reserve safety car in the pits.
It's not a bad idea, actually. There seems to be no problems with safety cars so far today.
Yeah, I don't think we should need it many more times because the field's spreading out, less chance for crashes.
That's true. Would you like to return to the commentary box?
I'll consider it at the 25-minute mark.
No, you won't.
Yes, I will.
No, you won't.
Yes, I will.
No, you won't.
Yes, I will.
You won't.
This isn't an argument.
This is definitely not an argument. It's a command, Vev.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it isn't.
It is.
This isn't a command.
This is a command.
No, it's not.
I order you to get back to the commentary box. Get out of the car.
No! Lock
You-
doors.
Get out of the vehicle. This is
No! No! Never! You'll never take me alive, brothers!
Alright, we'll let you stay. Christ.
Why is Kaz ghosted?
That's a very good question. Commentators memeing. Kaz is watching the stream.
I like the idea that every single viewer is a GGRC member, so it's like... Oh yes, live streams are so good for new members.
Indeed. It's just like, why? Looks like
No, it isn't.
Don't start this again.
I'm not.
You fucking well are.
No, I'm
Oh,
not.
there goes my monetization. Let's ignore the argument for now, but Willie's just come around the outside of Z and he's just moved up into 4th place as he come out towards the back straight. Yeah, look, he
No, he
has.
isn't.
He has. I've
yeah.
seen it. I
No, he
can
hasn't.
see him. He is in 4th place, Bev. Shush. Maybe I don't want you in the commentary box.
No, he isn't. I don't want to be up there. You farted last time we were in there.
Hey, we don't talk about that.
Enderwolf in first.
Oh, Lilium's just gone into the pits. He's just come off.
Interesting.
He's just come off the medium tyre, but his medium tyres were really, really worn down. I wonder if he's going to put a little bit more fuel in as you come around. Oh,
Interesting.
interesting indeed. Having a look further behind, you got Zombie Boy and Patrick, both
Cap in
in a bit of a
second.
fight.
Willie in third.
Oh,
Xena
there's a
in
little bit of
fourth.
contact. Willie and Zombie
No, it
Boy
isn't.
on the final. Yes, there was. Fuck off.
What?
There was a little bit of contact.
Lillian coming out in 7th.
Just in
Patrick
front.
saying fuzz.
Fuzz indeed.
Zombie Boy in 8th. Patrick in 9th. ARC Matty in 10th. Mls in 11th.
Buzz. Muesli. Can we refer to MLS as Muesli?
Muesli. Maybe I should drive up to Puom.
Only if you can get around there.
Of course I can. I'm in a 900 horsepower Merc.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't. Okay, mind you though, Pat's just come around the inside zone. There's contact! Oh, there's a little bit of dirty driving coming around from Zombie Boy. He's just got into contact with Pat, but Pat has made the move, so no safety car needed yet. Keyword being yet. A little bit further behind, Lilium on the fresh hard compound right up the back of Ritz, also on the hard compound, but Ritz has got frontal bumper damage, which he's trying to cope around with. And I think he's
Frontal bumper damage, which he's trying to cope around with.
Yes.
Wow. Anyway.
Can I have you back at the Anyway, sorry, a little bit further behind. GRCT Zombie Boy is now in a fight with ARC Matty. Matty with the better tyres, but also no fuel, so Matty could be going into the pits this lap. We'll see what happens as they come up down the back straight, coming up towards the bus stop chicane. GRCT Zombie Boy holding it up the inside. Matty trying to keep it clean around the outside. Is just tucked in behind as he goes around as he's going towards the outside line as they start to enter the bus stop chicane. GSRT Zombie Boy playing very defensive. There you can see Matty, as we predicted, going into the pits on the medium tyre, but also 5 on his fuel.
Enderwolf in first by a healthy margin. How much is he in the lead by?
19 seconds. He has been absolutely dominating. I really kind of want a safety car now just to stop him winning. I don't want Ender to win this.
I don't think that's how it works. Are you going to call out a safety car for...
Hang on a minute. There's a little bit of tussling. There's not really tussling. It's just a bunch of cars that looked a bit more in one place. Lilium's actually made the move on Ritz, and he's now just moved up into 6th place. No whipped cream for you, Mr. Sick. It's my best whipped cream impression. Business. Vev, did you leave your boom on?
Yours.
Okay.
Why?
Because I just heard you through the mic. I was a bit confused about what that was.
Okay, boomer.
Anyway, let's have a look at Pim now. Up the back of Z now, who's currently in a battle for 4th. So, Pim pulling somewhat better times. He's just tucked in behind Z now. Oh, he's just coming around the outside. Z now playing defensive coming out. So Pim's going to take the inside down the back straight. And he looks like he's going to get the move done with his battery life. Up into 4th place. Let's have a look at Z now. He's on far worse tyres and his fuel's actually slightly less. So Ritz actually has just gone to the pits. See what he's up to. I think he's finally had enough of his front bumper damage. And he's just going to get it off. I wonder if actually he's going to try and refuel and just trying to hold out for the rest of the race. That sound effect means he has not, but he is out on the soft tyre, which means he can really start to get the hammer down. Can you stop playing memes in my chat? It's going to get me copy striked.
You're going to get copy striked by Ref PG7 Industries.
Yes.
Yesn't.
Fine, whatever. Ender, please, no. Please. It's on at the chicane, actually. Are you on the chicane?
Yes.
I see. That's why it's so much of a problem. Kep and Willie, actually, they fought their way up quite valiantly, so they were really far back in the grid, and they've moved back up into their 2nd and 3rd positions where they were before. They've done rather well. Oh, Enderwolf is just going to the pits on the soft tyre. Willie is on low fuel, and I think Kep is also on low-ish fuel, so they're going to come into the pits as well. We'll see what they're up to. So Kep's staying out. Kep is staying out, as is Willie, so they're both staying out for one more lap, it might seem. Also, it would seem. Let's have a look a bit further behind. Sorry. Zenow, are they? Zenow and it looks like Lilium as well, both fighting again for the 4th place. Zenow on his damaged medium tyres doesn't want to lose time, so he's just going to give the position back to Lilium, who makes a very clean overtake up into 5th place. Let's see what Ender's done. So Ender's come out on about 66% fuel and the hard tyre, so I think Ender's going to try and keep up this fuel compound until the end of the race on currently at lap 17. But he's closely followed in the back by Pim in 4th place. But Pim is on lower fuel and slightly softer tyres, so Pim's going to look at potentially attacking Ender within these next few laps. So I might have been just a little bit of contact, I might have been just a tap, but let's have a look at how this battle unfolds as they enter Pujon. Ender playing somewhat defensive, but Pim all over the back of Ender, looking for a spot to overtake. As they exit Pujon and down into the chicane. Pim going around the outside, but Ender closing the gap, closing the door on the inside, so Pim cannot find a way past him at this current time. He's going to have to overtake at some point, otherwise it's just going to be game over. It's just going to be game over for him in this race, unless another safety car decides it wants to come out. feels really, really far packed, really, really far out at the moment. There's like nothing. Oh, Willie's actually just coming to the pits now. We'll see. And Kep. Both Willie and Kep coming into the pits. I'm not sure quite what their strategies were looking for, but it looks like Ender and Pim are going to now overtake and take the new first and second slots. Looks like Pim trying to make a move down Ender onto turn 1, and he looks like he's made a very clean move. Pim now up into first place, where he wishes he belonged, but probably won't at the end of this race, because Ender's got better fuel and tyres and everything else. But well fought, we'll say. Liam down in third, made a quite isolated at the moment. 6 seconds the gap between him and Ender, and 4.2 seconds the gap between him and Zenau behind him. So Willie came out on the hard tyre, and he's got 50% fuel at the moment. So I'm not sure quite what his strategy is in comparison to Kepler, who came out almost on full fuel, but on the same compound. Looks like Pat in 7th. Oh, Pat! Ooh, Pat getting a little squirrely on the end of that chicane. Right up the back of Kepler. Please crash, please, we need something interesting. Crash.
Oh, Pat getting a little hairy on the exit of that hairpin, coming down into Pooh Hump. And you've lost quite a bit of time on Kepler, the gap extending to 1 second, unfortunately. Let's have a look further up the grid. Looks like, let's have a look at Ender and Pim's battle. So, Pim, on the softer compound and less fuel, is really starting to build the gap on Ender. 1.4 seconds the gap after the overtake. As we enter the bus stop chicane. Watch him just chill out rather nicely. Zeno's actually kept 4th place despite his tyre difficulties. It was rather nice with him. Dev.
Yep.
We have 22 minutes left. Would you like to return to the commentary box?
No.
Yes. You should.
No.
You should.
No.
It is imminent that you must. It is imminent that you must return to the commentary box. Do it.
No.
Do it.
You know my response?
What would your response be? No. Oh! Oop. Cap's gone a little bit narrow.
Whoop.
Oh, that chicane, he's just backed off. He's just backed off. Is that who's doing donuts at... I'm sorry, but... Vev, are you doing donuts?
I'm doing big curly 11s. You can't look at number 15 on your keyboard anyway, so you can't tell.
No, I'm looking at you. You are T on my keyboard. Get off of the track. Can you not? Pim's going to stay out for one more lap before pitting. He's made a 3.3 second gap on Ender so far. So a little bit further behind. Looks like Zenau actually has dropped down to 6th after Kepler and Willie's overtake. So he's got a pit soon. His tyres look absolutely shot. 20 minutes remaining of this race. So it's going to be a 30 lapper. Still waiting for a spin from any of these drivers. MLS just going to the pits.
And what's that? Oh, hang on a second. Was that Zombie Boy? Vev, where are you? That's you, isn't it? Vev. Oh, yeah. Oh, for God's sake. Behave.
Okay.
Behave, you muppet.
No, I don't think I will. 19 minutes remaining. There goes Kaz.
I wonder if he's going to get lapped. Let's have a look at Pim.
He is definitely going to get lapped. There goes Pim.
Yeah, but Pim's very low on fuel. He's got to box this lap.
There goes Bednar.
Bednar. Lumau.
Here comes Locke. And Liliem. The OK's already been lapped. Villevog. Here comes the Kepler.
Kepler. Oh, looks like there was a bit of position change
Here
between...
comes the Patarika. Arids and Zulu. Here comes...
Oh, hang on. There seems to have been a crash. MLS has spun. This calls for a safety car.
That's not a crash.
I don't care, it's a spin, but MLS took a good chunk of damage from that. I would say a safety
We
car.
can't call it out, it'd have to be a VSC for an entire lap.
Should we just VSC it?
No. Huh?
Oh, so, hang on, what was that behind? So, Pim has just come out of the pits, out in 6th.
MLS has only just gone past me.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He crashed on his own.
I think no, it was a problem with Zombie just ahead of him. I think it was.
Not a
Let's have a look. So Ritz and Pim in a bit of a fight at the moment, coming down to the chicane. And unfortunately, Vev has left the building. But you can see Pim up the inside of Pat, but Pat's going to have the inside as they come around. There's a little bit of contact, Pim being forced just a little bit wide from Patrick as they keep their positions. Ritz also trying to get in on the fray. It's just a little bit wide, but Pat's now going to have to deal with attack and defense. He's got to defend himself from Ritz, who's flashing his lights at him in disgust, coming around into the chicane. But you can see Pim and Pat having some real fights coming on. Now 16 minutes left of this hour-long race. You can see Pim is starting to pull away from that. So Ritz right on the back of Patrick as they come down the back straights. Oh, a little bit of contact. Ritz just being pushed a little bit wide. Especially since Ritz is on better tyres, he has to get round Pat as quickly as possible. He can't afford to lose this much time. You can see that, but they're both braking, so Ritz staying patient, but Pat's going to have to stay out for at least 1 or 2 more laps on this tyres. But Ritz having the better exit as they come down the start-finish straight side by side, coming into turn 1. Ritz having the better exit has really just made that move for him. So he's now up into 6th place. Pat getting a little bit hasty on the exit there, but holding the car on his own. Dev has entered the building. Let's have a look here. Lilium and Kepler in a bit of a fight here at the moment.
Hello.
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 You can see Kep and Lilium having a bit of a fight, but Kep's made a really good move on Lilium. But Lilium is actually on very low fuel, so Lilium, I think, might be fuel saving to keep himself out for this lap in 4th place. Let's have a look a bit further behind. Pim behind in 5th, just tailing off the back of that group. Ritz and Pat coming around that same corner in 6th and 7th. And looks like Matty coping relatively well in 8th. But on low fuel. So he's going to have to box either this lap or next lap. Oh, I think that was a bit of a problem there. Oh, hang on a second. It was Leo K just had a bit of a spin. But yeah, Leo K is gone. Leo K has gone completely wide.
Not safety car.
Mental, but it's not a safety car incident because he hasn't really got into any trouble with any of the other drivers. I just want a safety car.
Hmm?
I just want a safety car.
What about the safety car?
Ender's winning by about 9 seconds. It's actually...
Oop, ow, I've got engine damage.
This does not call for a safety car because you are the safety car. That's not how...
Safety car with a safety car.
Ender, this is not how it works.
Safety car for the safety car. Oh, I've got so much damage.
Absolute
I bumped the
muppet.
wall. I went up there so fast. I had this really good drift going, and then I hit a bump and just snap oversteered into the wall on my wheel.
Absolute muppet. Even Ender's saying it's been a while since the last safety car. I think there's a little bit of a fight. Zombie Boy and Z-Now fighting for 9th and 10th. Z-Now came out on a bunch of fresh softs. So he's going to have the advantage on Zombie Boy as they enter turn 1. Across the line and into turn 1. Like I just said, into turn 1. But Zombie Boy playing defensive on the inside. Z going for the narrow exit. Hello, 6th stream watcher. You can see we've got a little group building up here. So you've got ARC Matty, I think it's actually a little bit further ahead. So you've got Pat leading this small group. 1 second behind him is Matty in 8th place. You've got Zombie Boy half a second behind him in 9th. And Z another half second back in 10th position. So we're going to have a little bit of a battle coming on here between these 4 drivers. You've got Z, so Z driving relatively nicely. Going around this back short straight into the hairpin, braking rather early on the soft tyre. Comparison to Zombie Boy's medium, which is also worn. So here comes Z now around the outside, but thinks better of it as they come down towards Puhon. Almost yeet the safety car. If you yeet the safety car, we have to bring out another one, Leo.
I'm like 15 metres off the edge of the track. He's got to be seriously special to hit me.
You've got to think, though, that this is Leo.
Yeah, fair point. I should be in a nuclear bunker.
Oh, fair enough. We'll go find a nuclear bunker then. Here comes Z now, really just hot on the heels. Zombie Boy's gone a little bit wide on the exit of that turn, so Zeno's taken the inside up into 9th place in his R18. But he has no battery power. However, Zombie Boy does have battery power, but they're above 150 miles an hour, so Z-Now is going to stay ahead as they enter the bus stop chicane now. So Z-Now playing relatively defensive into there, so Zombie Boy just going to have to trail behind. There's a little bit of contact. So Z-Now gone very, very wide at the exit of that turn. With now some rear bumper damage and some rear left wheel damage. So that's going to be a pain for his rear downforce. Let's gonna have a look a little bit further ahead into the 8th, 7th battle, which is now developed. So Pat leading quite comfortably, actually, a 1.5 second gap. So not really a battle, is it? Let's have a look a bit further behind. Back to the original battle we were looking at. So Zombie Boy versus Z-Now in 9th and 10th. So Z-Now, with his damaged rear bumper, is not going to be enjoying his time at the moment. But he's going to have to push hard if he wants to catch up to Zombie Boy. So, however, like we said, Zombie Boy is on a harder compound and more worn tyres. So anything could really much happen right now. So, and Z-Now's got pretty much completely fresh soft. So he's definitely got the grip. So Enderwolf is now pitting for the last 10 minutes of this race. Willie also pitting in. What about Pim in third? Pim is going to stay out in third place on the soft tyre, as is Keplero on the hard tyre. So I think Keplero and Pim are going to go to the end on these tyres. So Pim is actually going to be... So anything could pretty much happen at this point. So here comes Ender. 36 on the fuel, out on the soft tyre. He's now going to have to really push to catch up to these top two. What about Willie? Still on the hard tyre, he's coming out on the soft tyre as well, but slightly more fuel is needed in order to keep him ahead or keep him in the running. But so far now, it's Pim and Kepler battling for the win of this race. Kepler
Thing is, I'd really like to send a safety car out, but I've considered that if I do that, Ender's just pitted. And considering he's one who said it's been a while, he's expecting us to send the safety car out. I feel like that's bias. Without an actual crash, I feel like it'd be a bit wrong. Considering he's just done his last pit and everyone else has done theirs already.
That's kind of possible. That's kind of... that makes sense to me. I mean, a little bit.
You get it? Like, as in he's got fresh tyres and everyone else has got worn tyres. He'll get the group bunched up, and so I'm going to wait.
Well, we'll just see for a crash. So far, the race has been relatively clean.
We want racing to be racing. It's not safety car simulator like it was yesterday.
Oh yeah. Oh, here comes Zeno up the inside of Zombie Boy as they enter the chicane. Zeno on the inside. But Zombie Boy coming in on the inside for the second half of the chicane. But Z now making the move around the outside. A very clean move indeed. Up into 9th place from Z now. Great move. So he's going to have to try and stay ahead now. Both drivers are on good tyres. Well, not really good tyres, but good fuel. But Z now on the better tyre. And, well, he's just got the rear damage. That's the problem. Pat's actually just set the fastest lap of the race with a 1 minute 57.7, which is absolutely incredible. It's an insane time. You think? So out of the two drivers, then, who do you think's going to win, Pim or Kep, out of these two? You can just see them coming past now. Pim. You reckon Pim, do you? So,
Pim's an excellent driver.
He is. Statistically, he's got the advantage as well. So, because he's on the soft tyre, he's actually slightly worse on fuel, I must admit. And there's also there's also charging the battery somewhat better than Kepler, so he's going to have the advantage on the exit. So he's really going to really pull out this gap unless somebody spins or crashes completely for dead as they go into turn 1 or whatever. Let's have a look a little bit further back at the grid. So you got Z now and Zombie Boy still relatively close together. Less than a second is the gap between the two. Actually, no, it's just gone up to 1.2 seconds. I stand corrected, and that's just gone back under. I'm corrected again. Can you stop being so dynamic, time? Like be normal for like 5 seconds. Okay, good. Right, Leo K coming into the pits on his hard tyres. He's really not had a good race, is Leo. He's going to have to go in for one more lap, I reckon. One more lap of tyres and stuff for him. No safety car from MLS. Whoa, hey, that looked a little bit feisty.
Was there a crash?
Looks like Matty just went wide. I'm not sure.
I'm just going to say we commentated into it.
It looks like but Matty's really struggling now with whatever happened to him. Did not seem very good, but he's battling with Kaz, but Kaz has been lapped, unfortunately. Let's have a little bit further behind. Still, Zeno and Zombie Boy. Still within a second of each other. Still a relatively close fight. Nothing really to it. I did 10 minutes ago. Then crash. Yeet. If someone actually crashes and we have to send in a safety car, this could be for an interesting end of the race. Matty's actually just pitted. I'll crash into the safety car. Matty! No! Kaz, no! Kaz, no! You are not crashing. Take one for the team. Here he comes. No, he hasn't bothered. Good Kaz. Nice Kaz. Oh dear, let's have a look a bit further. So you got Zombie Boy. Oh, Matty's now within this fight between himself and Zombie Boy and Z now. So he's now second behind Zombie. I crashed in a wall, that's why he's 11th. But I didn't see your crash, MLS, I'm sorry. I wish I could, I must admit. Safety cars when you've got cars crashing into each other, MLS. And not the safety car. If you crash into the safety car, that's your own bloody fault.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I crashed into a wall, and it's like, I could do that. I could go, yep, I'm in 16th. I want to get a better position. It's wall. That isn't how safety car works. Yep, I hit the wall. Groups up. That's just not how it works. I put crashing in each other. Pretty sure that's a type of porn. Everything is a type of porn if you look it up.
This is
Anyway.
this is not what I wanted to hear in an hour-long spa drill race.
This is not okie dokie. Oh, that sounds tasty.
Are you ordering a pizza? Are you ordering a pizza?
That was me locking my phone and slowly putting it down. Me ordering a custom milkshake. I'm going for crunchy, Kinder Bueno, and fudge.
Wait, all three?
Yep.
No.
It's my ringtone. It was Cole calling me.
That's your ringtone? How is that your ringtone? He kept flashing lights coming down the back street. Oh dear.
So shall I join you in the commentator box?
You have 2 minutes left, now you tell me!
Nah, JK Psych, Lamau.
Rude!
Safety car's best driver here. Safety car's not moving very fast. I was putting myself into a safe location away from the Kaz. Aren't they okay? There's Pim.
Pim. Let's have a look at him now. He's got a 6-second gap. This might be the final lap of the race for him.
See, I can already feel it. I can feel Ender being like, why did you call the safety car out more? But it's not necessary. We had a few battles going on, and driver skill is what we should be up to, not relying on the safety car coming out.
It's a bit late
Safety
for the
car
safety
is a precaution.
I must admit,
And
it's
it
a bit
did
late for the
work.
safety car.
It did work when we had the big crash.
Yeah.
But it's a safety feature and a racing feature more than it is a race changer. You shouldn't rely on the safety car coming out for your pit strategy.
I do feel kind of bad for like Willie, Kep and Pat though, because the safety car coming out really just buggered with their entire strategies.
That's how come I didn't want to send it out again. What happened to Pat?
I think he's miffed. I think he's just miffed of the just for the case there wasn't another safety car coming out.
I can't say it'd do anything for someone who crashed. He didn't crash into someone else, did he?
No, it's because Pat, Kep and Willie
were really far ahead.
Yeah, they were really far ahead and the safety car kept them out while all the others went in because we announced it very late.
Well, we announced it way before the pit. The issue was that their strat wasn't made for it, but it's why I didn't want to send it out again now, because Pim and Kep's strat is made for that. Also, Pat's hit the fastest lap after for safety car.
I suppose so. So, coming out onto the final lap of this race. So, it's only the top 4 to contend for. Lilium has secured a 5th place finish, so a very good drive from him overall. But the fight now is really between Ender and Willie for third place. So Willie right on the back of him. Both very low on fuel, it seems. Willie on just slightly better tyres as they come up onto Eau Rouge and out on Radion. Willie side by side with Ender, third place, up for grabs. Now Willie's really pushed that R18 to its limits and has overtaken Ender with quite considerable ease now as they head down towards the hairpin. That's not a hairpin, that's a chicane. And out onto the straight towards the hairpin. See, I was kind of right, it was just in the wrong order. What's Pim looking at? Oh, it's Leo K. He still hasn't finished his race yet. I think Leo K is going to be lapped twice this race. It's going to be quite a problem for him. Enderwolf seems like he's backing off of Willie. He's really... In fact, he's got more fuel. The fact that he's got more fuel than him really shouldn't matter an awful lot, but Willie has just been the dominant driver between these two by an absolute landslide. Ender, mind you, is on a wheel, so he's probably suffering from fatigue at this current stage.
He's suffering from fatigue. Is Pat out of fuel?
No, he's crossed the line. He's finished the race. Down in 7th place for him. So
7th isn't bad. 14 drivers.
15, yeah, 13 drivers, because Blue was out on track. So, coming round then to the final corner, Pim wins the 1 hour, I was going to say 24 hours, the 1 hour of Spa event. A great drive from him overall, and potentially a slightly lucky one. Kep holds off Willie to take the 2nd place. Willie takes 3rd place, and Ender finishes 4th. Good driving from everybody. But your winner today is Pim 24 of 7 of 2002. I've been your host, Arachon, and Devil is still out on track and not in the commentary box, so he's going to stay there. So that's all from me, guys. Thank you, and good night. Is all I'm going to have to say.